o'clock on this Thursday morning, also known as Friday Eve.
Yeah.
The weekend is near, my friends. Thanks for sticking with us and joining us on ARC Rochester. I'm Abby Fridman.
And I'm Stephanie Joseph. We've got a full 2-hour show this morning, so let's just run down what we have brewing for you this morning.
All right, so coming up today, we're taking a closer look at a viral accessory that is breaking the bank, but also satisfying some sweet teeths. We'll tell you about it coming up in this morning's Trending Now.
And then later, our resident garden guy will be back with the final episode of From the Ground Up. This morning, Mark will be walking us through roses, insects, and disease control.
A little bit of everything there. And then later, we are getting our drink on because it is National Moonshine Day. We're going to be celebrating all together with a few different flavors of the liquor. You've never had moonshine before,
I
have
haven't.
you?
We actually grew up with a street back home, Moonshine Hollow.
Ah,
I still didn't know what it meant, but
Well,
I guess I'm in for it today.
yes, you are, my friend. Yes, you are. Before all of that, we're going to get a check of our top headlines today with your Thursday morning news break. We are following some breaking overnight news. One person is facing charges after several fights shut down the RTS Transit Center downtown. Police say the fights happened between a group of young people just before 11 last night. Officers were able to get the group out of the building and then made the decision alongside RTS to shut down the center for the night. We're told no injuries were reported and an 18-year-old was charged with third-degree menacing. He was issued an appearance ticket. RTS says the center will be operating normally today.
Rochester police tell us some of the buses at the transit center had been used to help disperse crowds at Ontario Beach Park, where a sheriff's deputy was hurt. We're told it happened just before 9. Investigators say the deputy was injured in the hand while taking a suspect into custody and received medical attention. An investigation is ongoing.
Rochester police are looking for suspects this morning after an overnight assault in the city's Upper Falls neighborhood. This happened just before midnight in the area of Holland and Kelly Street. Officers found a 43-year-old man in a parking lot. He was taken to the hospital with what we're told are non-life-threatening injuries. Those with information should call 911.
Recovery efforts are expected to continue today in the search for a missing 5-year-old boy who fell into the Genesee River. Police are using sonar to search the area between Middle and High Falls, but they have not found Zyjay St. Pierre. He fell from the Andrew Street Bridge on Sunday while walking with his mom. The Rochester community continuing to show support for Zyjay's family. Police are still asking boaters, fishermen, and anyone else around the river north of downtown to keep an eye out for Zyjay and call 911 if they see anything.
Now to follow up on an executive order signed by President Donald Trump that he issued his first day back in the Oval Office. The president signing a travel ban preventing people from a dozen countries from entering the U.S. The list includes Afghanistan, Iran, Haiti, and several African countries, among others. The policy also puts partial restrictions on 7 additional countries. Trump citing security concerns and says it's hard for the U.S. to vet visitors from those places. The ban doesn't apply to lawful permanent residents, existing visa holders, and certain visa categories. It also allows for exemptions when the Trump administration determines U.S. national interests are at stake. This is set to take effect on Monday.
For all these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13wham.com.
All right, we're going to switch gears now and get a look at our Thursday forecast. We're still seeing the hazy and warm conditions, but looks like some folks may have some rain later in the day.
Yeah, meteorologist Marty Snyder is joining us now with more on those potential showers coming our way. Hey there, Marty.
Hey, guys. Yeah, that risk is still there for at least a shower, maybe even a thunderstorm, especially as we head a little deeper into the day. Right now, we're starting off pretty dry. It's just that lower cloud cover that's out there, dropping visibility back for a few areas. But the main line of shower activity, mainly well to our northwest right now. A lot of that moving into Toronto right now, mostly throughout southern Ontario. And that line is going to push southeast and make its way closer to us throughout the day. But also a lot of that rain will dissipate along that line as it does approach. So it may be a case where a lot of that just dies down before it finally does arrive here. I think areas southeast of town through the Finger Lakes, even into the southern tier, could pick up a shower or thunderstorm going into the afternoon, as we may see a few more areas of rain regenerate along that same line during that time frame. But highs today mostly in the 70s, which is a step down down from what we had yesterday. Still a summer-like feel, just given the humidity that's going to be in place today, even with those lower temperatures today relative to those that we saw yesterday. Tomorrow, about 73 for a high, slight chance of a shower then. And even as we head through the weekend, even into next week, a lot of highs mostly in the 70s. So one of those rare occurrences where we're pretty consistent, pretty close to that average high this time of year. Usually move around a little bit to get that average, but a lot of 70s for highs all the way straight into a good portion of next week as well, guys.
Yeah, above average. No complaints here, Marty.
We'll take it.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Let's go off the top now and start with stories and things that have piqued our interest this morning. I will start things off. Officials in Christiana, Tennessee are telling residents to keep their eye out for an escapee on the run. He's going to be easy to spot because of the black and white stripes that he's wearing. They aren't talking about a prisoner, but rather a pet zebra. Yeah, you heard that right. He's been missing for 4 days after escaping from his home. Crews are working around the clock to find him. He was last seen over the weekend right there running through a neighborhood and also trotting alongside the interstate. Since then, see him cutting across the road there.
Speed.
Yeah, and there he is in the neighborhood too. I don't know, if I saw that, I'd probably think I needed to be hospitalized or something. But so he was last seen in these two places, but now he's just kind of gone off the map. His owners and search crews are not giving up hope. Now they're using thermal drones to scan thousands of acres, hoping to find him. They've been weaving in and out of woods and neighborhoods to check out places that he might be hiding. One of the drone operators actually tells one of our affiliates there he thinks the zebra is close by, maybe just hiding out somewhere quiet away from people. His owner is worried, but the good news is there's no shortage of food for him because zebras eat grass. And they say they hope that he's been able to find a water source like a pond or one of the rivers in the community. This is the first time this crew is searching for a zebra, though, so they're a little unsure as to what they should expect. They're really worried about him getting scared and then running out into traffic or even causing a crash. If they do find him, they say they can use tranquilizers to get him safely into custody, or they can call in the cowboys to wrangle him back into the loving arms of his owner.
Wrangle is the right word because he's moving fast.
He is booking it. He's probably scared. You know, I imagine that he did not want to be in this situation.
Yeah.
It probably just escalated. I feel so sad.
I know, yeah. Hiding out is interesting because it's like, how could he do that? You know, I don't know that their black and white stripes are not camouflage.
No, not camouflage. Certainly not. And, you know, they're kind of big. Ashley, can you pull up that video again? Like, I don't know. I imagine that there wouldn't be a ton of hiding spots for this guy. Look at how big. I don't know about you, but I'm always like, my aunt and uncle used to live in North Carolina, and the place near them had zebras. And, you know, it's just, you see them and you're like, that can't be real.
Right.
That's
a horse wearing a costume.
Exactly. Yeah, but still crazy. And Tennessee, of all places, right?
I wouldn't have thought.
I know. I really hope they find him. You know, but that sonar technology is really incredible. So, you know, we've seen stories of, you know, people who are lost and then they're able to be found that way, or lost pets. I guess here we go, another pet that's lost and on the loose.
Yeah, best of luck to them. All right, we'll move on now to my topic, and this one's for the ladies. So if you're an avid coffee drinker, it may help you stay healthy later in life. So that's according to a new study that was released this week. The lead author says that women in their 50s who drink 1 to 3 cups of coffee were likely to age without major chronic diseases. Now, she also said they had good cognitive, physical, and mental health. Now, this data, it came from a group of 47,000 women who were surveyed in middle age and followed for 30 years. But the key point to this is that it has to be caffeinated coffee.
Okay.
So the study did not find the same findings for decaf coffee or even tea, so sorry to you guys. Those who frequently drink cola or other caffeinated sodas, they could actually lower the chance of healthy aging, so reversing things. And another note about why the age group analyzed really matters, it's on a hormonal level. So without getting too into the weeds with science, the study's author says the midlife time period is usually characterized by hormonal shifts, and hormones actually impact how caffeine is metabolized. That was a fun fact for me, something I didn't really know.
Yeah.
Including how long it's felt, so the impact of, I guess, the strength of it as you go on. But a disclaimer, though, to everyone out there, this is not medical advice, and you don't need to start drinking more coffee right now. This study is not correlational either. It's observational, so it cannot share direct cause and effect. It's also going to be submitted for peer review soon, so early stages. Coffee is also not the only way to ensure that you have a long, healthy life. Of course, we know about exercise and vegetables and fruits and, yeah, all the good things.
Yeah, there are plenty of things we can do to, make sure that we live happy, healthy lives. But listen, the more caffeine, the more coffee, I should say, that I have, usually the nicer I am too. So it's better for everybody if I just keep on drinking it, right?
I know, and I've recently switched. I used to be like coffees all the time, but I have turned to matcha just because I like how the caffeine feels. Like it's more of a natural perk, I feel like, and it doesn't have the same crash as coffee, but maybe I should go back.
You just came into the studio today and said it was a matcha day. You're looking forward to that.
I am. Get a little flavoring.
Yeah, I tried to switch to tea for it was like 2.5, 3 months that I did it, and I was really proud of myself, but it's a really hard switch to make. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been drinking coffee since high school.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. But it's just one of those vices, I guess.
Yeah, but not a bad one.
Not a bad one at all. No.
So
everything in moderation, right?
as they say.
All right, we still have a lot to get to this morning coming up on ARC Rochester. When we come back, we'll check in with Chris Lopez, who's getting ready for Fairport's Canal Days.
And don't forget that you can watch us on the go wherever you are by streaming us live on the 13 Wave YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. ARC Rochester is back after this. 8:14, and this weekend, thousands of people will flock to the 48th annual Fairport Canal Days.
Yeah, the festival will have plenty of live music, food trucks, and a lot of artists showing off their work. Let's go live to Chris Lopez, who's in Fairport, talking to a couple musicians for us this morning. And Chris, it looks like you've got some art next to you as well.
Yeah, Abby, so this is the official poster right here. This is a beautiful mix of color. It's digital media. I was told it was also painted by marker. Just a really nice way to showcase what the Fairport Canal Days really has in store. All of the colors, all the vibrancy that's going to be on display pretty much Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And yes, musicians will be here. We are talking to two this morning. I have Daniel King, Tim Forrester, from two separate bands, though the Daniel King band from Daniel, and then the Sofritos for you, my friend. You are playing music on Sunday. You are playing music tomorrow. You are in charge of music. Yeah, so you have really a broad view of what kind of music is going to be playing. So can you delve into that before we get into what you guys are specifically playing?
Absolutely. So Canal Days is an arts festival, and so when I came on as music director 13 years ago, it became really important to me to make sure that the music that we did was supporting the arts. So we're not a rock festival here. We really play more, say, jazz and acoustic and original singer-songwriter.
You guys set the vibe, is what I'm feeling. That's when I was walking to you. The vibe was amazing.
Thank you.
The canal next to me, your guys' music.
That's exactly it. We want, when people are walking down the street, we want them to have a feeling that is unlike any other festival they go to, and we want them to walk up to those vendors and say, "Oh my gosh, this art's beautiful," and hopefully buy something. That would be the idea.
Daniel, you're playing tomorrow. Your band, the Daniel King Band. I interviewed you last year. You guys were absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
But for those that didn't see that interview and then have never seen you guys play, what kind of music do you guys play?
Okay, so it depends on who you ask. Now, I like to think of it as Latin music, but Latin musicians would say, "What is that?" So I have my derivations in flamenco guitar.
Okay.
Combine that with Latin rhythms, and lately I've been incorporating a bit more of a rock feel to it.
Okay.
So we can call that however hybrid we want.
And then what kind of atmosphere are you looking to bring tomorrow? Is your band looking to bring? You got a lot of barbecue going on tomorrow, so are you going to change the vibe a little bit based on the barbecue and the food, or is it going to be same old, same old?
Oh, never the same old, but we do want to see a lot of feet moving, so we're going to keep the dance vibe going for an hour to an hour and 15 until Tim throws us out.
Bring your dancing shoes then.
That is exactly right.
What time are you guys performing at?
We're going to start at 6:30 and go to 7:30 at least.
Okay.
We're going to be clearing the stage for Atlas, who's going to follow us shortly after.
Okay. So you guys are setting the vibe.
Exactly.
Setting the vibe, as the kids say.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Okay, and then Tim, what other musicians? You don't have to name all of them. You have a few playing throughout the weekend, but what Atlas that Daniel mentioned?
Yeah, we've got let's see, the Blues Masters tomorrow night. Let's see, who's playing after that? Another.
I'm not sure.
Oh, Sky Coasters. Yeah.
Sky Coast. Tell me a little bit about Atlas. You said they're a pretty big band. They're coming here tomorrow to play for you guys.
Played here last year, and they crushed it. They had so much fun. They immediately came off the stage and asked if they could come back this year. It's a pretty cool vibe here. And they are a party band like no party band you ever heard. If you're not dancing within 30 seconds, there's something wrong with your feet.
Okay, so bring your dancing shoes for Atlas, bring your dancing shoes for the Daniel King Band. What are your guys' favorite things about Canal Days?
Well, I heard there's going to be a chicken barbecue. Now, aside from that, the people are amazing, the artists are fantastic, and my personal favorite thing to do is take the stage. I'm super excited about that.
Tim, what about you?
Oh boy, I'm a Fairport native. Born, bred, lived here all my life, and I've been coming here for decades. And it's just there's a feel this weekend that's just it's very, very unique. It's very community oriented. I think the most community oriented of all the festivals. Maybe I'm a little biased about that, but yeah, I'd say so. But you're going to see kids walking down the street having fun. You're going to see just everybody just having a good relaxed time here.
Can you guys play something back to our audience real quickly? I'm going to leave it to you guys now.
love it.
Yeah.
Amazing. So impressive. And I always say it, I think the mood would be so much better in this studio if we had live music all the time.
I think so, especially that.
Exactly. Yeah. Chris, thank you. Good stuff.
Hey, don't go anywhere. When Arc Rochester returns, it's this morning's weather trivia.
Yep. Mark will be here coming up after the break. Welcome back. Mark is here giving us a look at today's temperatures. Going to be warm, a little hazy out there, and we're also talking weather trivia.
Yeah, lots to talk about on trivia. So we have this thing in weather. It's called radar, right? It's a meteorologist's best friend. All right. So we use this to scan the atmosphere, really for everything. It's precipitation, rain, snow, sleet, hail, whatever's falling out of the sky. Radar will also track airplanes, swarms of bugs, Canadian geese, really anything that you want. We were working in Syracuse one afternoon, this is about 20 years ago, and somebody called us up, this is before smartphones and all that. They said there's the biggest flock of Canadian geese I've ever seen in my life, and it's flying south from the lake. You have to see it. It was a slow news day. They said, okay, we'll send a photographer up to Oswego. It was north of Syracuse. They had video of it, of this, hundreds of thousands. I mean, it was the biggest. It showed up on radar as a band coming off the lake, and the radar picked it up. And we had it on radar and we had it on video at the same time.
Wow.
That's how many there were. It's crazy, but radar will pick up anything. So that's the question. Let's go to the trivia. Today's trivia is about radar. Meteorologists use radar to track precipitation in the atmosphere. Do you have any idea how fast a radar beam travels through the atmosphere?
Like, how would I?
So you got a 25% chance. Part of this is education, right? 761 miles per hour, 5,554, 75,050 miles per hour, or 186,282 miles per hour.
Like, none of those are even close together.
Yeah,
No.
I knocked out 2, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a pure guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a pure guess. But that's, it's one of the most important tools that a meteorologist has for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, satellite pictures, radar, we'd be in real trouble without weather radar. It really tells us all about the now weather. But we'll have the answer to this coming up at 9 a.m. right here on the Arc. We'll bring that back. But today, this is on the drive-in this morning. It depended on where you were, west of Rochester and a little bit north. The visibility actually dropped back. It's at 5 miles at the airport, but we've got this low deck. Look at the ceiling. It's only 500 feet. So that means that if you're in the hills south or off to the west of the city, you're probably into this cloud deck. And this came off Lake Ontario, courtesy of that north-northwest wind last night at 6 miles per hour. And you look around the area and look at Batavia right there. Visibility is down to 0.25, so it's a quarter-mile visibility. That's like driving through heavy snow.
I'm actually going there later today.
Okay.
So that's unpleasant for me.
You got to stop at the chocolate place out there. What's it?
Oliver's?
Oliver's. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, a quarter mile there, 9 miles in Penn and 5 miles again officially in Rochester. So here's another thing that kind of obscured the atmosphere a little bit last night. Air quality index right now it's 66, so it's still in that moderate count if you have asthma, and again if you suffer from respiratory ailments, that may bother you a little bit today. But satellite radar actually has the front right over us or near us, just to the west of us, and a lot of the precip is what we call anafrontal, so it's behind the front, which is a little bit unusual with a cold front showing up back towards Toronto and not out ahead of that boundary. But I think there's a pretty good chance this afternoon that we flare up a few showers and a thunder shower maybe southeast of Rochester. But the city looks like it stays mainly dry up this way. Into Friday, you can see that there's another chance for some passing showers around. But again, much of the day looks like it's going to be dry for us. None of these days are going to be a washout today, tomorrow, or Saturday. But the weekend weather does start with a small chance of rain, especially in the morning. Some late day clearing, temps in the mid-70s for us. And Sunday looks like the dry half of the weekend, 74. With a little bit of sunshine out there, so pretty good there. But planning forecast today, still humid, still feels humid out there. Dew points are in the 60s. It's going to feel that way through the afternoon, and just stressing, especially east of Rochester there at 4 o'clock for that shower and thunder threat. The 7-day forecast has 70s, and overnights in the 50s and 60s. So yeah, we're warming things up compared to where we've been recently. It's mid-70s for Monday, occasional showers and thunderstorms there. And I'll stress this point, it looks like late next week, we get into a more sustained summer-like pattern. So maybe instead of just 1 or 2 days of being in the 80s with the humidity, maybe we get 3, 4, or 5 days.
What?
We'll see about that heading into next week, and it would be the first, quote, warm weekend that we've had this spring.
Yeah.
It really has been, it's not disappointing for the weekends, but it hasn't been
Not
really usable.
great.
Great. I'll borrow that from Dan Fates. It's his favorite saying there. Not great. Yeah. Not
Agreed. It's, it'll be nice this weekend to just kind of, I don't know about you, my outside is like a disaster. We have not done anything to get the deck ready or the porch, or it's like it's all been on the back burner because it's been so rainy and so muddy.
I figure, I was talking to one of our neighbors. I said, I think we're about 3 weeks behind compared to where we were last year at this time. But, I was able to get the mulch done last weekend and, start to catch up on some of this stuff. So slowly but surely we're getting there. Slowly but surely.
That's all that matters.
Is the giant tree out of the house?
It is, and I broke a branch off of it last night. Well, so I'll wait a week or so and see if I can pot that one up and start a new plumeria tree.
Oh, okay.
A pretty good chunk of it came off.
Wow. Other than that, it was
It's
pretty
out.
successful?
It's out.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's what matters.
It's an umbrella anchor at this point.
Well, that's all right. It's all good. And 2 weeks to go until the official start
can't
of
believe
summer.
it, 2
Wow.
weeks.
Wow.
I know, it's like we're doing
AC
this.
season is here.
Exactly, it is.
I didn't turn it on last night. I refused.
What?
No, it was windows open and fans.
You were giving me a bunch of garbage not too long ago before we came back from commercial because we had the air conditioning on. Also, went and played pickleball last night.
Ooh, yeah.
Outside.
Needed
So
air.
it was needed because it was,
Gross.
pretty gross.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, good stuff, Mark.
Yep.
And you have the answer to weather trivia coming up at 9, and we have from the
ground up roses, some disease and pest control on roses, and we're moonshining.
And we're moving.
At some point.
Yeah. Don't go anywhere. We have a lot more to get to this morning on Arc Rochester.
We're back after this. And thanks so much for sticking with us here on our Rochester. We want to take you behind the story now. After months on the run, a second suspect has been arrested in connection to the horrific murders of an Irondequoit family of 4.
In August, a couple and their 2 children were found tortured and killed inside their Knapp Avenue home.
And as 13 Wham's Karen Edwards explains, the suspects were cousins of one of the victims.
Captured. U.S. Marshals releasing this mugshot Wednesday night of 31-year-old Luis Francisco Soriano, also known as Jeffrey Yevo, arrested in the Dominican Republic. He and his brother, 34-year-old Julio Cesar Pimentel Soriano, are accused of torturing and fatally stabbing their cousin, Fraime Ubaldo, his girlfriend, Marangeli Moreno Santiago, and their 2 children, ages 2 and 4, in their home on Knapp Avenue, August 31st. Both men are also accused of trying to cover up the crime by burning the home.
This was a horrific scene. In almost 32 years of doing this job, I've never seen anything like it.
Authorities say Soriano left for Puerto Rico, where he was added to the U.S. Marshals Service's 10 most wanted fugitives list. They say he became aware that federal marshals were on the island and fled by boat to the Dominican Republic. That's where investigators say he worked at a hotel call center in Punta Cana. He was taken into custody without incident after he finished his shift Wednesday morning. His brother, Pimentel Soriano, was arrested locally in September and pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder. Irondequoit police say he's also wanted for a 2019 murder in the Dominican Republic. He is being held in the Monroe County Jail without bail. Now, as loved ones of the family and the community continue to grieve their horrific deaths, the U.S. Marshals releasing a statement saying our community should feel reassured knowing this fugitive has been captured and will face justice. Karen Edwards, 13 Wham News.
This has been one of those stories that we've been following. Hard to believe it has been almost a year since this tragedy. With this family of 4 out in Irondequoit, we heard from several members of law enforcement who said that this was one of the most horrible things that they had seen. And a story that definitely shocked the entire community, not just in their neighborhood, but in much of the area as well.
Yeah, it's something that made national headlines. Going back to the sound that the chief gave in Karen's package, it just goes to the emotion that a lot of people were feeling at that time. Just very intense. Let's see if we can play sound from Chief Peters again from that press conference.
Adults do what adults do, but kids are innocent. So take that for what it's worth. Mom was being a mom, protecting her children. Dad, I can't say, but nobody should ever be able to do this or be able to think that they could do that to a child.
And again, those children ages 2 and 4 years old, found alongside their parents in that home in Knapp Avenue. And one of the things that we've heard from this story, like I said, an outpouring of support from people in the community, and the families of the 2 individuals have been very vocal about the heartbreak and devastation that comes along with their deaths. We have some sound we'd like to play from the father of Marangeli Moreno Santiago, talking a little bit about the connection between Luis Francisco Soriano and his involvement with that family and how all of these lives became intertwined.
That's sick. It's sick because I met that guy. I met that Jeffrey guy 2 years ago when I went my first summer to spend over there. My daughter watched her babysit his baby. That guy always was there at Fraime's house, and he was like Fraime's brother. As a dad and grandparent, our duty is to protect our kid. And I'm always thinking that night or that morning I wasn't there to protect my daughter and protect my grandbabies. And that's a pain and that got inside me that it's never gonna go away.
Yeah, obviously something that's just very hard to sit with for family, for friends. You see that there was just a growing memorial in front of the home there. And just to give a little bit of background on who we were specifically talking about. So 26-year-old Marangeli Moreno Santiago, his daughter there that he was speaking about, but also 30-year-old Fraime Ubaldo. And I believe the 2 suspects in this case were cousins to him.
Yeah, exactly. And you see those two suspects there. The most recent arrest happening in the Dominican Republic, we're told that that individual was working at a hotel call center and was taken into custody just after his shift ended. And this has been a months-long search. He actually was on the top 10 most wanted fugitives. And, I imagine that people called law enforcement out there, and they were able to make that arrest. Going back to the family and the victims here, I want to play the sound that we have from the godmother and friend of the family because we were able to hear some information from her. Like I said, this, really rocking the entire community and these families.
I can't refer to her as someone that's in the past because she will forever be my best friend. She will always be my sister. She will always be my kid's godmother. Marangeli she was always a very caring person. They're my family. She's my sister. She will always be my sister. They will always be my godson and my goddaughter forever.
Yeah, definitely. And authorities obviously continuing on in this process. We know that Luis Francisco Soriano, he is in the process of being extradited. So, of course, something that we will continue to follow and keep up with. As for Julio Pimentel, Cesar Pimentel, he is in custody right now at the Monroe County Jail.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing we hear it a lot from the loved ones of victims in crimes like this one. And, they say that there will never be any closure. There will never be any real justice. But it does bring a little bit of comfort to know that two people who have been accused in this crime are in custody of law enforcement. And, again, these are allegations against the two. We know one of them has pleaded not guilty to the charges. But I'm sure a lot will unfold in the coming weeks and months that will follow this. But certainly thinking of the families, because while it is, I'm sure, a little reassuring that he's been captured, I would imagine that this opens a lot of old wounds.
That is for sure. So definitely hearts and thoughts go to them right now during this time. And again, we will continue to follow this for you as we learn more from law enforcement. But don't go anywhere. We do have much more to come to here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back. We're once again checking in with Chris Lopez.
Yeah, we're back on the other side of the break. happening this weekend. A very popular festival will take place along the Erie Canal. It's the 48th annual Fairport Canal Days.
Yeah, guests, they'll be treated to live music, tons of food, and over 200 artists displaying their creativity. Our Chris Lopez has been giving us a sneak peek all morning, and he's there right now for us in Fairport. Hey there, Chris.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, starting tomorrow, we got a good barbecue session going on for you guys. Live music, Daniel King Band is going to be performing, Atlas right after that. But I want to talk to two people, pretty much president, board member of the Fairport Parenton Merchants Association. I hope I got that right again. Let's start off. You guys are holding donuts. What do we got? I'm not eating these, by the way. I eat all the time. I'll leave that to you if you guys want to taste on these or snack on these.
I ate two while we've been waiting around this morning. I can't have another one. I'm talking so fast now. These are commemorative donuts, Salvatore's and Donuts Delight. Here, I'm gonna see if I can dump it on
and
screen.
then that one has
beautiful poster.
Yeah, that one has the poster on it right there. That's beautiful. And they can get those at Salvatore's, right?
So these will be available at Salvatore's on Saturday. Donuts Delight will be featuring both the Canal Days logo and this year's poster, so stop by and see us. If you're headed to the kids zone, we are right next to that. So bring your kids out for donuts.
I was gonna ask you, the kids, I remember being a kid, 6, 7 years old, my parents taking me to something like this, and I'm groaning a little bit. Is there something for the kids, something special for them to chill out a little bit?
Yeah, the kids zone this year is featured in the Howard Hanna lot, just south of Salvatore's, and there's a rock wall. So, man, I mean,
so they're going to be busy. They can be busy.
Rock wall. Absolutely.
Okay. And this festival, this is for everyone. It's an arts festival, but even if you don't really like art, there's still music, there's still food there. Is that the idea of this, really, is to bring everyone out?
We want to offer everybody an opportunity to see and experience something, whether it's seeing ducks dropped in the canal, listening to great music, looking at the artisans, all the different varied artisans, local businesses, and then food. Like, hey, how can you go wrong? Donuts?
And you guys are in the Merchants Association. Let's talk merchants now. How big is this for them to give them a platform to be here?
Take it away.
It's huge. I mean, being a newer business owner, Doug's been here a lot longer than me. Being a newer business owner, it is an amazing opportunity. We meet a ton of people. It brings out people that are already in the village and brings people from everywhere else. The kids, the older crowd, it's something for everybody. So it's fantastic for us to meet everybody.
What's your guys' favorite part of Fairport Canal Days?
For me, like I say, it's seeing everybody come in, accumulate, see how much stuff happens so quickly, and then see all the people come out.
What about you, Sarah?
For me, it's a variety. We get to see so many things. I admittedly sneak away from my business because I have to check everything out, or people walk down the street and I'm like, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? So I just love the variety. It's awesome.
Is the duck race back? Is that this year, the duck race?
Yep.
3 p.m. when?
3 p.m. on Sunday. There's duck race. They all get dropped off the lift bridge, and we have a bicentennial duck celebrating 200 years of the Erie
of this canal
Yep.
here.
So there's special prize for that winner, and then along with an array of other prizes as well.
Okay, kicking off tomorrow. You said be here at about 4:30. You would say, Doug?
Yeah, 4:30. Chicken barbecue. Music will start after that. Atlas in the evening. Come out and enjoy a great festival this weekend.
And then if you can't make Friday, you have Saturday, you have Sunday. You can find out more information about Fairport Canal Days, the 48th iteration, on our website on foxrochester.com, or you can go on fairportcanaldays.com. I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio for now.
They had me on chicken barbecue.
You know, they had me with the donuts, too. Jeez, Chris. I can't believe you're not going to eat one. Come on.
Come on. You know you want to.
Summer shreds, guys. I got to watch it.
Hate that.
For this week.
All right, Chris, thank you. Time right now is 8:46. When we come back, we are sharing the important reason why you should be wearing the color orange tomorrow.
Our Rochester is back after this. is Wear Orange Day, a national movement to honor lives lost to gun violence and call for change.
Since its founding in 2013, it has grown into a powerful display of unity and action. This morning, we're getting a closer look at how the movement started and how our community is coming together to protect kids and raise awareness.
For more, we are joined now by Pediatric Trauma Program Manager from Golisano Children's Hospital, Adam Opplinger, and the Executive Director of Rise Up Rochester, Wando Ridgway. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
So just to start off with the importance of Wear Orange Day for anyone at home.
Sure. So Wear Orange Day, as you mentioned, has been around since about 2013. Its origins were sadly after a young girl was shot and killed in a park in Chicago. As members of her community tried to figure out a way to honor that, they came up with this idea of orange being the color that hunters wear to protect themselves. And so that's really where Wear Orange Day came from. And as it has grown into a national movement, we see people this weekend every year wearing orange for that symbolic movement to end gun violence.
And that is something that we have seen right here in our community, sadly. What are we doing locally to promote this kind of awareness?
So on tomorrow, along with the City of Rochester, the county, and other organizations, we're having a Go Orange Day at Parcel 5 from 4 to 8. Where survivors will come and speak, share their testimony. There will be a proclamation, and just fun. We just want to love on people and provide resources. A lot of resources, support for individuals will be there as well.
What kind of resources?
From all over. We're resource rich. So probation will be there, the PIC team, the FIT team, Rock the Peace, different organizations. There's mentoring programs, something to help these, families to get through, situations. So
there's also an event in the main lobby at Strong Memorial Hospital tomorrow morning from 10 a.m. where many of the same community organizations who partner with us in this effort to end gun violence in our area will also be in the lobby. With resources, with information, with gun locks if you need a lock for your gun to help secure it. So we're looking forward to talking to a lot of people tomorrow.
I would say my first introduction to Wear Orange Day was a lot of school violence, gun violence specifically, on a national scale. So if you can kind of talk about just the impact in our community, but also beyond when it comes to children who kind of see this gun violence.
Sure. So unfortunately, every year in our region, we see usually between about 30 and 40 young individuals under the age of 18 at our trauma center who have been the victims of firearm violence. But it goes beyond that. Really, yes, as a victim of firearm violence, that's a major concern, but also those who witness that. That's something they have to carry with them for the rest of their lives. So we really feel like now is the time to start beginning programs, services to end this epidemic of gun violence that we are seeing throughout our country.
You mentioned having gun locks in your home if you do have a firearm. Tell us a little bit, even though it may seem self-explanatory, about why that is so important to have if you have a firearm.
It's very important. I was just having this conversation with someone earlier. A lot of people don't understand. Those guns provide safety. Kids won't be able to access those guns if you don't lock them up. But we really want to make sure that they're put in a safe place. Lockbox, like you said, the gun locks. We want to just make sure they're there.
And you had mentioned before different supports that are available in the community. Can you kind of speak to what the response is like to just know that there are resources available here for anyone impacted by gun violence?
So it's real weird. A lot of people say they don't know about the resources or the support that's out there. So that's why we have these events like this, to let people know that you're not by yourself. There is support from you. Our partnership that we have with Strong Memorial Hospital has been amazing, and we're able to meet those individuals at bedside and create those plans for them and, provide them with some of those resources. So for the most part, it's working. It's definitely working.
So tomorrow, people can wear orange. What other ways can they specifically, individually, help prevent this kind of violence from happening in our community?
So I think one of the great ways is to just come out and engage with us and learn what's happening, what the resources are, what some of the legislative initiatives are. And then there are other ways, visiting various different websites. Every Town for Gun Violence has a huge amount of information on what the different issues surrounding firearm violence in our country are. So those are just a couple of the good ways that people can get involved.
Sure. And for anybody who wants to attend the event, if you could give more information for anyone at home who wants to know.
Sure. So I can talk about the hospital event. Again, we will be set up in the main lobby at Strong Memorial Hospital tomorrow morning from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. I know that Wanda and Rise Up Rochester will be there. Several other community organizations who we partner with will be joining us, and we're just going to have a ton of great information.
And then tomorrow evening from 4 to 8, we'll be having a joint event at Parcel 5. We're going to kick it off with a parade around Parcel 5. So we'll be out, wear your orange, come out, eat food. There will be T-shirts. We have limited T-shirts, first come, first served basis. But we're going to paint Parcel 5 will be orange tomorrow.
Very good. So if you can't go to one, you can go to the other, or maybe if you have the time, you can go to both, right?
Absolutely. Come out and see us.
Thank you both so much for coming in today. We appreciate it. And if you'd like to stop by any of those events, we'll put the information for you over on foxrochester.com. Don't forget to wear your orange.
Stick around. We've got so much more to come on Arc Rochester.
We're back after this. Much more to get to this morning on Arc Rochester as we continue into the 9 o'clock hour, including a closer look at a local graduate who's going to make the job easier for dairy farmers.
And we're helping you protect your plants from those pesky bugs. Mark will have more coming up in this week's From the Ground Up.
We're back after this. morning. It's Friday Eve. It's June 5th, and we are in our last hour of Arc Rochester. So thanks for sticking with us. I'm Abby Ferdman.
And I'm Stephanie Joseph. That's meteorologist Mark McLean. He joins us once again. He'll have a check of the forecast coming up in just a few moments. But we do want to start with some of the top headlines in your Thursday morning news break.
All right, breaking overnight. One person is facing charges after several fights shut down the RTS Transit Center downtown. Police say the fights happened between a group of young people just before 11 last night. Officers were able to get the group out of the building and made the decision, alongside RTS, to shut down the center for the evening. We are told no injuries were reported, and an 18-year-old was charged with third-degree menacing. He was issued an appearance ticket. RTS says the transit center will operate normally today.
Rochester police tell us some of the buses at the transit center had been used to help disperse crowds at Ontario Beach Park, where a sheriff's deputy was hurt. Now, we're told it happened just before 9. Investigators say the deputy was injured in the hand while taking a suspect into custody and received medical attention. An investigation is still ongoing.
Rochester police are searching for suspects today after an overnight assault in the Upper Falls neighborhood. This happened just before midnight in the area of Holland and Kelly Street. Officers found a 43-year-old man in a parking lot. He was taken to the hospital with what we're told are non-life-threatening injuries. Those with information on the assault are asked to call 911.
A second suspect has been arrested for the murders of an Irondequoit family of 4. 31-year-old Luis Francisco Soriano was arrested in the Dominican Republic. He and his brother are accused of torturing and fatally stabbing their cousin, his girlfriend, and their 2 children in their home on Knapp Avenue back in August. Soriano was taken into custody after finishing working at a hotel call center. For all these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13wham.com.
All right, let's get to the forecast now, and we're going to talk about the summer-like temperatures we're still feeling out there. We're also going to do the answer to weather trivia.
Yeah, the trivia. We'll get to the heat, too. It was a pretty warm day yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was nice.
It was nice. We'll have the number on that. But trivia, this was the question that we had for you. We're talking about radar this morning. Meteorologists use that to track precipitation in the atmosphere. We call them hydrometeors, if you want to know the textbook definition. Do you know how fast radar beams travel through the atmosphere? And here's the selection: 761 miles per hour, 5,554 miles per hour, 75,050 miles per hour, or 186,282 miles per hour. Here's some of the trivia. What do you think?
I don't know.
We got 50% of those answers say D, 2 C's and a B from Julie.
Pamela's unsure. She put D question mark.
Yeah.
So, and we've got, looks like we have some Instagram. 50% A, 50% B. Okay.
I was also going to go with B, but now I'm not so sure.
I know, because a lot of people said D.
You know what? I'm going to go with C.
C?
I am.
75,000 miles per hour?
Yeah.
You know, here's the answer, and this is, so what radar stands for?
Giving we're wrong.
Radio detection and ranging. Okay? So the waves that come off the antenna actually travel at the speed of light.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's how fast, that's light speed right there, 186,000 miles per hour, basically. And, at that speed, it's almost instantaneous that you could send, for instance, the radar that we use in Buffalo can scan something in Rochester it's almost instantaneous, faster than you can blink your eye. And we know it's already traveling in the atmosphere. Now, it's interesting that the first answer there, 761 miles per hour, is actually the speed of sound. That's how fast sound waves travel. So, in comparison, that's a snail's pace, right?
Yeah.
But if you've been to a baseball game and you're sitting in the outfield and you watch, somebody hit the ball and you have to wait for the sound to get to you in the stands or something like that, there's always that little delay. The farther and farther you get away, or you see a distant explosion or something like that at a fireworks display, it does take time. But hey, let's talk about explosive cuteness, right? Today's dogs of the day are Norman and Chico. Look at those.
Look at those
Frenchies.
faces. Are you kidding me?
Goodness.
Oh my gosh, I just want to smooch their little faces.
they're little stinkers. Look at, for most of us, today's going to be fairly dry. If you're watching from east of Rochester, there is a chance of a shower, rumble of thunder. But Friday, Saturday, we'll just say wet pause for those. Especially Saturday morning, then Sunday, Monday starts to dry out for us. So nice little walking time today. Hot weather's back. Do you know how hot it got yesterday? Here's some more weather trivia. What was the high temperature? What do you say?
Oh, man. I'm going to go 89.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Pretty close. Pretty close. 88. 88. So that was the warmest day in Rochester since last September.
Really?
Since September 15th last year, it was 85 on that day. So we haven't had a 90 since the end of August. So it's been a while for that. But some spots did hit 90 yesterday. Dansville was 90 to the south of Rochester. One of the things we're watching this morning, a little bit of a lower visibility thanks to that low cloud deck. We had some fog roll in off Lake Ontario with that north wind that's now turned calm, 66 degrees. So that's a mild start. And the Batavia visibility is coming back up. That was down to a quarter mile last check at 8:30, now back up to 2 miles visibility, which is still pretty low for this time of the year. That would be like driving through light snow if you saw something like that. Satellite radar back to the west of Rochester. We have that cold front. And the showers, as you can see, the color, the darkening of those returns is starting to lighten up a little bit. So I think a lot of this is going to kind of weaken on its way in as we head toward the afternoon, but kind of redevelop southeast of Rochester late this afternoon into this evening. So down towards Binghamton, Syracuse area may have the better chance of seeing some of these showers and possibly some thunder as that line advances on through. And certainly it's going to have an impact on the temperature. It's going to knock the temperature back a little bit. Now, Friday's not a washout either, but again, notice that trend there has more showers off to the east of Rochester. Your weekend, Saturday starts out with a morning shower, some late day clearing, and Sunday's in the mid 70s with a little sunshine. So for the dry weather, count on Sunday. But it's going to feel humid today regardless with that dew point in the 60s and the 7-day forecast for us. It's going to have temperatures staying in the 70s. So it's mild forecast for this time of the year. Overnights in the 50s and 60s. You know, it's nice. You maybe need a touch of AC on a few of those days, but it looks like many of those days we probably scrape by without it.
Good sleeping weather.
Good sleeping weather, for sure, yeah.
And honestly, like usable during the day.
Yep.
You know, we get home at a pretty decent hour because we get here so early.
Yep.
So, you know, you still have the afternoons to get some stuff done.
Yeah, get out on the deck and get that going and get the plants going.
Exactly.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. And 2 weeks until the start of summer.
2 weeks.
Which is great. Hopefully we will
That's a
stick
funny word.
What?
Solstice.
Solstice. Just like Halloween. One of those funny ones.
Yeah.
All right.
I say Halloween.
We have From the Ground Up coming up in just a few minutes to
9:30.
look forward to.
Yep.
And
Roses.
I still don't have anything really in the ground yet.
Oh.
Am I like out of luck?
It's all right.
All right.
Yeah.
Probably
If you're going to do veggies, you probably want to have them in.
I wasn't
Probably by
gonna
this
do
weekend.
veggies.
Okay.
No,
you're good.
I'd kill them. All right.
Veggies aren't thriving.
No?
No, at least two of them.
What did you do? Tomatoes and sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes, cucumbers as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a picture.
Yeah.
Mark can fix it for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. We still have a lot to get to this morning on Arc Rochester. When we come back, we're going to check in once again with Chris Lopez, who's out in Fairport this morning.
And hey, take us with you. We're on the go wherever you are by streaming us live on the 13 WHAM YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. We're back after this.
Starting this weekend, thousands will flock to the 48th annual Fairport Canal Days. It's just one of those iconic events.
Yeah, it's really fun. I went last year and enjoyed it myself. Yeah, the art festival will have plenty of live music, food trucks, and many artists showcasing their work.
Chris Lopez spent the morning in Fairport to find out all he could.
Yeah, Abby, so this is the official poster right here. This is a beautiful mix of color. It's digital media. I was told it was also painted by marker. Just a really nice way to showcase what the Fairport Canal Days really has in store. All of the colors, all the vibrancy that's going to be on display pretty much Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And yes, musicians will be here. We are talking to two this morning. I have Daniel King, Tim Forrester, from two separate bands, though the Daniel King band from Daniel, and then the Sofritos for you, my friend. You are playing music on Sunday. You are playing music tomorrow. You are in charge of music. Yeah, so you have really a broad view of what kind of music is going to be playing. So can you delve into that before we get into what you guys are specifically playing?
Absolutely. So Canal Days is an arts festival, and so when I came on as music director 13 years ago, it became really important to me to make sure that the music that we did was supporting the arts. So we're not a rock festival here. We really play more, say, jazz and acoustic and original singer-songwriter.
You guys set the vibe, is what I'm feeling. That's when I was walking to you. The vibe was amazing.
Thank you.
The canal next to me, your guys' music.
That's exactly it. We want, when people are walking down the street, we want them to have a feeling that is unlike any other festival they go to, and we want them to walk up to those vendors and say, "Oh my gosh, this art's beautiful," and hopefully buy something. That would be the idea.
Daniel, you're playing tomorrow. Your band, the Daniel King Band. I interviewed you last year. You guys were absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
But for those that didn't see that interview and then have never seen you guys play, what kind of music do you guys play?
Okay, so it depends on who you ask. Now, I like to think of it as Latin music, but Latin musicians would say, "What is that?" So I have my derivations in flamenco guitar.
Okay.
Combine that with Latin rhythms, and lately I've been incorporating a bit more of a rock feel to it.
Okay.
So we can call that however hybrid we want.
And then what kind of atmosphere are you looking to bring tomorrow? Is your band looking to bring? You got a lot of barbecue going on tomorrow, so are you going to change the vibe a little bit based on the barbecue and the food, or is it going to be same old, same old?
Oh, never the same old, but we do want to see a lot of feet moving, so we're going to keep the dance vibe going for an hour to an hour and 15 until Tim throws us on.
Bring your dancing shoes then.
That is exactly right.
What time are you guys performing at?
We're going to start at 6:30 and go to 7:30 at least. Okay. We're going to be clearing the stage for Atlas, who's going to follow us shortly after.
Okay. So you guys are setting the vibe.
Exactly.
Setting the vibe, as the kids say.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Okay, and then Tim, what other musicians? You don't have to name all of them. You have a few playing throughout the weekend, but what Atlas that Daniel mentioned?
Yeah, we've got let's see, the Blues Masters tomorrow night. Let's see, who's playing after that? Another.
I'm not sure.
Oh, Sky Coasters. Yeah.
Sky Coast. Tell me a little bit about Atlas. You said they're a pretty big band. They're coming here tomorrow to play for you guys.
Atlas played here last year, and they crushed it. They had so much fun. They immediately came off the stage and asked if they could come back this year. It's a pretty cool vibe here. And they are a party band like no party band you ever heard. If you're not dancing within 30 seconds, there's something wrong with your feet.
Okay, so bring your dancing shoes for Atlas, bring your dancing shoes for the Daniel King Band. What are your guys' favorite things about Canal Days?
Well, I heard there's going to be a chicken barbecue. Now, aside from that, the people are amazing, the artists are fantastic, and my personal favorite thing to do is take the stage. I'm super excited about that.
Tim, what about you?
Oh boy, I'm a Fairport native. Born, bred, lived here all my life, and I've been coming here for decades. And it's just there's a feel this weekend that's just it's very, very unique. It's very community oriented. I think the most community oriented of all the festivals. Maybe I'm a little biased about that, but yeah, I'd say so. But you're gonna see kids walking down the street having fun. You're gonna see just everybody just having a good relaxed time here.
Can you guys play something back to our audience real quickly? I'm going to leave it to you guys now.
Yeah, easily one of the most popular festivals in our area. Can't wait to see, all the exciting pictures that people send us. Don't forget, send them to us, 13wham.com/chime in. We'd love to see your time out there.
Yeah, you could see them on TV or even online. So send it to us, please.
Yep.
Hey, don't go anywhere. When Arc Rochester returns, we are taking a look at some of the stories that have people talking this morning.
Yeah, we're back after this. It is time to see what's trending this morning on Arc Rochester, starting things out with the bag that is turning heads and also making people hungry.
Yeah, luxury brand Louis Vuitton is selling a chocolate egg bag, and it's exactly what it sounds like.
Goodness. All right, so it's created by an acclaimed pastry chef. The collaboration with the brand launched as part of a coffee shop partnership.
Yeah, now the bags were introduced earlier this year in February as part of the Easter Spring collection. According to the brand, the piece combines the elegance of the leather design with the excellence of chocolate.
Oh my God. Okay, the bag's shell is made from 70% dark chocolate. The zipper pulls and handles are made from 40% milk chocolate.
Inside, the centerpiece is a 40% milk chocolate bar with a hazelnut center.
It sounds amazing. The chocolate bag goes for $250.
Wow.
That's way too much. It can be purchased through mid-July, and it's recently gone viral. Steph, tell them why.
It was after a content creator on TikTok shared a video showing her remove the bag, which belonged to her roommate, from the fridge and completely drop it on the floor.
This popped up on my timeline.
I couldn't imagine.
And it's just gonna boop.
Oh!
Yep, and then it's done. And then it's done. It's it.
Oh,
and it
goodness.
didn't just like break. It shattered. You don't fix that.
Oh my gosh.
That's why you don't touch other people's stuff.
Yes.
Also, I mean, listen, I'm not judging, but it's $250. You just have it in the fridge like that.
You're not
No
really
Tupperware?
supposed to. Yeah, you don't refrigerate chocolate. Something happens to it. It starts to.
Does it?
Yeah. There's I forget what it is, but there's like white lines that will form.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's that chalky type thing.
Yeah, so this person didn't care, clearly.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way too much for chocolate. Think about how many other, you could spend a lot of money.
I will say, though, depending on, like, the percentages that we were talking about, the cacao, like, that is on the expensive side.
It is.
So,
I mean, yeah, like, I get it, but I don't know.
Too much for a chocolate bag.
Too much for a chocolate bag. Yeah, remember who was it? Which celebrity had the ice purse?
It was Camila Cabello.
Yep, that's right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that got a lot of attention.
It was real and dripping, and I would be uncomfortable already. I think it was the Met Gala.
I think you're right, yeah.
And I couldn't imagine having that. Where would I put my phone? No pockets.
I know. Yeah. Statement piece.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got to move along now to a mom asking for some honest feedback after an experience that she had at an amusement park.
Yeah, so she took to social media questioning if she was in the right or wrong. Words are just escaping.
It's okay.
Today.
It's all good.
But she goes on to recount the experience, saying the amusement park was packed and there were queues for every ride.
After waiting an hour and a half in line for a ride, she noticed another woman with 2 kids working her way through the line, excusing herself as she passed. She goes on to explain that she couldn't hear if the woman was giving an explanation for why she was cutting, but she assumed she was just trying to reach her partner further in line.
Now, when the woman got to her and asked to be excused, the mother asked why the woman needed to cut. Her response was, waiting with the kids is hard work. They're really tired, so we're going to have to cut through.
Uh-oh. The mom said she politely denied the woman's request to move ahead, but the woman started to get a little hostile.
Hostile is bizarre. The woman ended up staying right behind the mother in line and continuing to make some snarky comments like, I hope nobody ever helps you out. And the comments, they got a mixed bag of reactions, some siding with the mother, but some other people with the woman.
Thoughts, Steph?
I do not like when people cut in line. It is disrespectful. It is on the list. Just like whoever does it. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's pretty rare for you to get like passionately upset about something. This may be like the most I've ever seen here. But
it's just something where if you're being disrespectful, I'm here waiting in line, and if I'm waiting a long time and you're in front of me, I boil.
Yeah, and I'd also say like it's really not that serious. It's an amusement park. If your kids are tired, you should just take them home.
Yeah.
Or like go sit down for a little while. It's you don't have to be there. It's a fun experience. You should enjoy it. If you're not having a good time, why the urgency for this ride?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I probably would let it happen because I'm a total pushover and I wouldn't, try to fight anybody on it. But for her to say, I hope no one ever does anything kind to you. Like, just come on. We all need to relax here.
I would say it depends on who I'm with. If I'm with my mom and sister, they are the talkers. They would speak and be like, excuse me. Me, on the other hand, I am more of the secondary character. I'm the mediator. That was like is it the INFP? Like that one?
Yeah.
That's what I'm the mediator, like to diffuse the situation. However, if I'm by myself with my best friends, I am usually the outspoken person who would say something and be like, calm it down.
Yeah.
We need to take it down. But yeah, it's a lot over something small.
Yeah, exactly. I will be the first person to stand up for my friends or my loved ones if like something's going wrong. But when it comes to me, I'm like, you can just walk right all over me. I won't say anything. And that is something that I should work on.
Yeah.
Just personally. All right, that's getting too deep. We'll get to our final story now. Maybe one day in the future, you'll be able to celebrate your 150th birthday. No, thank you.
Right. According to renowned human biologist and biohacker Gary Brecka, it could soon be inevitable to live up to 150 years old.
In a recent podcast, Brecka said if you are alive in 5 years, he believes it will be your choice whether or not to live to 120 or 150.
Brecka says that modern bioscience, artificial intelligence, and early detection are moving so quickly that the path is nearly almost paved to a massive life extension.
Brecka has worked with elite athletes and celebrities, helping them extend their health span and reverse concerning health issues through custom data-driven protocols.
This kind of sounds like a show that I talked about, maybe it was last week. I bring up this show all the time. It's called Pantheon, where it's uploaded intelligence. So basically people that pass, their mind gets uploaded. They basically live in, I guess, different universe. I don't want to give it away, but this is very similar to that. And I kind of think it's scary. You have to watch the show. There's 2 seasons and only going to be 2 based off of how the second one ended. But Yeah, it's very interesting. Anyway, so the practices he uses include a diet change, red light therapy, breathing exercises, tailored exercise, and ice water immersion.
I would not want to live to be 150.
I'm okay.
I feel like at that point, I've seen way too much.
Right?
To be like a happy person.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a really long time. I want to make the most of the time that I have here, but I don't want to extend it to the point where I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like you get to a point where you're like, all right, it's probably, you know, time to wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't want to be unrecognizable either. Yeah. Like, I would still be Stephanie inside, but I wouldn't be Stephanie outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Exactly.
Time for rest.
Life is worth living.
Yes, that is true.
All right, we still have a lot more to come this morning on ARC Rochester.
We're back on the other side of the break.
So bad. Hey, thanks for sticking with us on ARC Rochester. Meteorologist Mark McLean is back for our next segment, From the Ground Up.
Yeah. Do you like roses?
Yeah. I do, yeah.
Yeah, lots of different types of roses. It's amazing when you go to a garden center and you see them all, you know, what grows where, what's the best spot, what do I need if I want to start a rose garden? And you see so many, I mean, like Maplewood. Have you ever walked through Maplewood, the rose garden on Lake? It's just, there's so many beautiful places. So this week we got into the roses, and then at the end we talked about little disease and pest control for roses as well. Check it out. Hey, do you love roses? We're at the Garden Factory. I'm here with Nick Mostarda, the nursery manager, and we're surrounded by these beautiful roses. You want to learn something about the roses? Hey, Nick, let's talk about a few of these beautiful roses. What do we have right here in front of us?
So this first one is a knockout rose. It's known as a disease-resistant rose. Does really well in landscapes, and it's a prolific bloomer.
And you can also put them in pots, right?
You can. Just keep up on the watering. If you do put them in pots, they're going to take a bit more water than they would in the ground.
Okay, perfect. And out in the front, a little bit longer there, we have a climbing rose. So what spot is good for a climbing rose? Why is that different than, say, a hybrid tea?
So the climbers are going to do exactly what they say. They are a climber. They're going to climb your arbors, your trellises, things like that.
Okay.
They can get upwards of 10 foot tall if you let them go. They do really, really well in those types of applications. Not so much if you're trying to put them in like the middle of a landscape.
Could you use it for privacy and security?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Yep. And we got some hybrid teas here. These are beautiful. Right here, check that out. Look at the color on that.
Yep, and hybrid teas you're known for as your cutting roses.
Okay.
They're going in vases and different arrangements. They stand up tall on a nice tall stem. Big blooms. They do really well for that application.
Bringing them home and putting them in a nice vase, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the more you cut them off, the more you're going to get blooms on them.
And what do we have here?
This is a Floribunda rose.
That's beautiful.
Flowers pretty similarly to a hybrid tea, but in a little bit more compact. A little bit smaller flower than a hybrid tea.
Okay.
Generally, you can kind of keep those in the landscape and do pretty good with those as well.
And if you want the fragrance, you have one variety that's much more fragrant than others. That's this David Austin, right?
Yes, the David Austin, the English roses, known for its fragrance, known for its beauty. They're a pretty coveted rose.
Oh, very good. And one last but not least, can you even get a rose in a tree form?
You absolutely can. They graft them. They graft them in knockouts. We have a petite knockout, which is a dwarf knockout that's grafted onto a tree farm right now. And they're a man-made tree.
They're just beautiful. I mean, the color on it is astounding.
Yeah, and they're a rebloomer, so they continuously keep blooming until frost.
Okay, and obviously for everyone that's had roses, we know at times there's disease pressure, there's insect pressure. Let's talk about some of the things that we can use for disease and pest control.
So with roses, you got to be careful with moisture. Too much moisture, you're going to get powdery mildew or a little bit of black spot. This product, the Rose 4-in-1, the Rose X, works really well for pesticides.
Okay.
It also works well for any of those funguses and things like that.
What else do we have? We've got Captain Jack's.
Yep.
And we've got some copper fungicide. What do you say about these guys? These are organic products?
Yep, so yes, they are all organic. The dead bug will help you with insects that might be eating your leaf. The copper fungicide will help you with your funguses and different things like that at first sign. It kind of helps it from preventing from spreading because it can spread pretty quickly.
Okay. And anything else you want to tell people about keeping these beautiful roses happy and healthy throughout the year?
Yeah, just make sure you're planting them in full sun. They like to be in full hot sun. Be careful with overwatering with roses. They do like a well-drained soil. Try to stay away from clay soils. Pretty much, that's about it.
Yeah, and that's
One of the tough things, the soil condition, and some of this, leads itself to different diseases and, the fungus that goes. You got rust, you've got black spot, you've got powdery mildew, and all these different things. Outside of some of the stuff we were just talking about, you can also take a teaspoon of baking soda and mix it in with a quart of water and put it on the rose too for some of the control there. So you don't have to spend a ton of money, but always good to go organic, the copper, the sulfur-based for the disease and pest controls.
And you have some of those in your house, right?
I grow the knockout rose that he started that Nick was mentioning there. I put it in a pot out on the deck, and it just started blooming today. You will not see the rose when it goes into bloom because there'll be so many blooms open. I'll take a picture and bring it in, but it's a red one. You have to be careful with those if you put them in pots because our winters are pretty tough. If it gets below 0 for a couple of nights in a row and you had one of these in a pot, it would likely perish. So I bring it in the garage in the wintertime and put it in the garage. The garage gets down to 15 or so at night. Usually getting it out of the wind, getting it into the garage usually gets it through a winter. Now, if it's already planted in the ground, obviously, that you're going to have to consider something else, than bring it inside.
Something that's been really great about these garden segments has just been learning that you can keep your plants for the entire year. I know we talked about annuals and perennials. So that's been really cool, especially the note about the flower because the conditions really do change, especially here.
Yeah.
So just to find that out has been great.
Yeah, it's fun. And our climate it's just on the border for so many different things. Our dogwoods up here, beautiful flowering tree. They're hardy enough, but if we get a real winter, a lot of these ornamental trees get wiped out. If you get temperatures below -15, -20 for a length of time, it can be tough. But roses there too, and going back to the ones that are grafted on, they had the knockout rose grafted on like a little tree. Yeah. You have to be careful with those ones too. Hardiness, when we were selling them, we said leave it in the pot, put it in the ground, feed it, and then bring it in, put it in the garage and overwinter it and bring it back out. I know that sounds like a pain, but it's a cost versus, am I buying a new one next year? Or
Right.
what are we doing here?
And I'm sure worth it if you do get to keep it alive. It's really beautiful.
It is, and it's gratifying. Yep.
Yeah, very good. All right, so this was, correct me if I'm wrong, the last segment from the ground up. Yes.
Yeah. The hope is now that we'll move on to a new project. Hopefully, details coming on up for that next Thursday.
All right, looking forward to that. This
Yep.
has been super fun, and
Yep.
I'm fairly certain you can find all of these from the ground up segments over on our website.
Yep.
Lots of good information from Mark and the folks over at the Garden Factory.
Yeah, it's in the community tab when you go to 13wham.com. Just click on community, and it's in that drop down.
Very good.
All right.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey, stick around. We've got so much more to come here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, it's this morning's Reporter Recap.
Don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel at foxrochester.com. We're back after this. Welcome back. June is National Dairy Month, and for this morning's Reporter Recap, we're taking a closer look at one RIT grad's pretty neat invention.
Yeah, it's going to be looking to change the game for dairy farmers. 13 Wham's Christian Garzone got to learn more about it from the inventor.
Jaden Neal on his family's farm here in Albion might be well on his way to changing the cow milking process. He says the current method of milking has some issues.
Existing tools have brushes and belts or are in contact with the cows, and that can cause some contamination issues or cross-contamination issues, and it's also just rougher on the cows.
He's made a device called the Vortex. It's 3D printed, light in weight, and is an udder washing device focused on sterilization. It also has improved grip and nozzle heads. Jaden put his new bachelor's degree from the Rochester Institute of Technology to work.
I studied robotics and manufacturing at RIT, so.
His father, Jody Neal, explains the need for this device in today's world of agriculture.
As farmers, we use automation to improve our efficiency, find ways to make our jobs easier. More cows per worker, more milk shipped per worker, just ways to increase profitability, and actually even also for the health of the cow too.
Jaden's business is appropriately called Utter Ways, and the plan is to bring this tool out of the family farm in Albion, like all over.
We're also trying to work with the dealer network and different companies that we would need to involve to make sure that we're actually able to effectively roll this out nationwide.
Really interesting stuff, Christian. Really impressive, too. We were talking a little bit about just how impressive some of these RIT grads are. The inventions that they're coming up with there, truly remarkable.
It is. And, I'm at that age, because I'm 43 now, where I'm like, oh, what are these kids doing these days? They're on their phones all the time. But I'm reminded when I do these stories, young people are really creating these innovative things. I mean, who would have thought to make this on a 3D printer, have the desire, determination, know-how to say, I can take this milking process and make it even better. So what you saw in there was a prototype called the Vortex, and if you go to the website, they actually have it refined even more. And again, you heard at the end of the package, the goal is to take this nationwide and perhaps change the dairy process across the nation.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You were just saying a moment ago how big the industry is specifically in this area, so it definitely could be a game changer for a lot of farmers.
Right here, yeah, I think we have, 3,000 dairy farms in New York State, roughly, a rough number. But certainly this could make things a lot better. And the focus, as you heard in there, is on sanitation and stimulation as well to get the cows producing more milk. I didn't really think too much about all the cross-contamination that happens. It makes sense once you start to think about it. When I was a little kid, my parents rented a farmhouse on Route 488 in Clifton Springs, the Helpins Farm, which was a dairy farm. I loved being around cows and watching this process, and I did it the old-fashioned way with the little pail and bucket. Yeah. It was one or two times, but just like, okay, kids, sit down and do it. But to see how it started and this is where it's going now, it's just a great little tool. There it is, the Vortex again. And it's a nice reminder, these are the folks who make America run, who get us the milk to the table. I love doing stories when we can highlight farmers and these folks that are all across our region to kind of give them a little bit of recognition. And I think this tool is going to go a long way. Yeah, and when you think about technology and, new innovative things that are coming out, a lot of the time, at least for me, I think of the microchips and, the things that are going to improve our cell phones, the things that are going to improve our devices. But it's inventions kind of like this one that are really going to be so game-changing for so many people. And, the average person doesn't even consider it, doesn't even think about it. Yeah, really. And Jaden Neal, I don't think he wants to stay on his family farm. I think he's got bigger desires. But no doubt he's changed his family's farm right there with this little invention here. And I should even call it a little invention. It's a big invention. Just exciting. And to think that this is a farm that's got a way to make dairy even more efficient and better methods employed, I think is just great. I'm a big milk drinker. Are you ladies not? I drink my vitamin D milk every day. Do you not?
I have bought it in life, like earlier on, I would say. But I have turned to like the plant-based milks now, or maybe like a lactate. Just a personal preference, but milk is definitely important.
I tried the soy milk maybe a number of years ago at Syracuse University. I was drinking it, and Syracuse. Here we go, fist bump it. But I remember it was vanilla. It was wonderful. I won't say the brand, but one of my classmates said, Christian, a guy in Florida was drinking this soy milk. He developed breasts. And I said, what? I said it was a big non-starter with me. So I stopped, but didn't bother to research the story. It's probably not true. So I went back to regular milk. So, hey, hashtag real facts right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Usually like almond milk for me.
Almond milk?
Yeah, but I mean, I use regular dairy milk for cooking. But it's...
How is almond milk? It looked kind of runny. It looked runny to me.
Runny?
It looked a little runny.
It's thin.
Yeah.
It is thin.
Yeah.
Vitamin D milk is like slush. You tip the carton over and it takes a second to come out. Almond milk is like the opposite. It kind of just like
I don't know.
It's very light.
Yeah,
My
like water.
generation, I should say, when I was a kid, A-Team was a big show for me with Mr. T. Remember that? You remember that show?
I Pity the Fool.
Yeah, exactly. I own the whole DVD set, not to brag on live TV, but I do own the whole DVD set. Mr. T would work in drinking milk in the show, and they would sit there and talk about the vitamins and minerals and nutrition, and Mr. T's drink, and in the middle of an action scene or about to go battle, and he's drinking his milk. So it's always in my mind about milk, I think, just from those very formative years. So I'm on the milk train for life.
Next time you come on the show, we'll have some ready for you, okay?
Oh, fantastic. Nice and warm under these studio lights.
Yeah, just the way you like it.
Curdling a bit, it'd be great.
Christian, thank you. When we come back, we're raising a glass for today's special National Day. It is not milk. We'll tell you more coming up after this.
Yeah, you won't want to miss it. 9:48, and we are dishing it out this morning because today is National Moonshine Day.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know how much we love a good drink here on Hark Rochester. So, what better way to celebrate than with some of the real stuff?
Okay.
I don't know whose idea
They're
this
coming in
was.
from the sideline
Yes.
over here.
I've never tried this.
I can't believe that you've never tried it.
I'll
That's
say-
pretty wild.
I'll say this, when we took a vacation 2 years ago, we went down through Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, and Old Smoky is down there. And we did the tour and went through it. It was fun. It was really cool.
What is your favorite? The apple pie one?
Apple pie is great.
Do you want to start with that or do you want to end with that?
Let's end with it.
All right.
Why don't
cool.
we end
All
with
right,
that
we'll put it over there. So we have
Yep.
the apple pie one.
Yep.
We have a cookies and cream moonshine, which
Remember-
all of these sound great, but they're pretty deceiving. What is this?
Pecan?
Butter pecan. And then we have banana pudding.
Oh.
Steph, since you've never tried it, what do you want to do first?
You can pick. Yeah.
I like pecans.
All right,
Okay.
great. I don't think you're going to like this that
Okay.
much, but I guess we'll see. All right, so here we go. These are ice
That's
cold.
good.
Yeah, that's straight out of the freezer.
Thank you.
Yep.
I couldn't
Ooh, it
even,
is, like,
I couldn't even get
to the
my
touch.
my hand around it to get a tight enough grip to open the lid. It was like glued on.
Oh, whoops,
What's it?
sorry.
It smells
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
A little left.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. It's good. These are very, what? Yeah.
It's strong.
It is strong.
It's got a little bite.
Oh, this was nice though. It's like hazelnut iced coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's a good
something
way
like
of
that.
putting
It
it.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's definitely more of like a desserty
Yeah.
thing. I think a lot of the time, at least when I think of moonshine, I think of my parents' old neighbors that like made it in their bathtub.
Yeah. The stuff that'll make you go blind.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have this and you're like, oh, that's actually not
Yeah,
bad, but
yeah.
it's deceiving. It's
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah, these are pretty tame.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good. Mark is a
Yeah.
big fan of the moonshine.
Apple pie.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. What is this? Are you still good? You
Banana
still working?
pudding? Oh no, this is finished.
All right.
I know, I'm a little nervous because it's
Director Chris just reminded Stephanie that she's doing the noon.
splashes for me.
All right. This is the banana one. I've had this one before. My very good friend Jamie, who DVRs this show and watches it at her leisure, is a very big fan of this stuff. And so we like to keep it in the house for when she comes over to visit. And we forgot to refrigerate it one time, which was not a good decision. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
It's like banana Laffy Taffy.
Yeah.
It's giving Robitussin. I'm sorry.
What? Robitussin?
Yeah.
What kind are you drinking?
I don't know.
The one I always get is
pretty
like
sweet.
cherry.
Pretty
It is
sweet.
really sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I usually have like the raspberry Robitussin. Either way, it's just strong in general.
Raspberry from this? I don't know, man.
It's
Good.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a bite.
It's all right. It's just really early for this.
Yeah.
It's not even 10. That's
I
usually.
usually
There are
don't
some
like.
bizarre flavors of moonshine.
Did you put any in the prompter?
When you go,
No, I'm just telling you guys.
When you
Like
take-
producer John was telling me some. There was like lavender
Yeah.
and ginger. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Ginger I would like probably.
that's strong.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a whole bunch. When you take the tour, there's like 20, 25 different types down there.
And it's
Yeah.
this brand, the
Yeah,
whatever
Old
it is.
Smoky.
See, this one is clear, and I feel like that could be concerning. That's the apple pie one, and
Yeah.
we're gonna do that one in a second. But first, we got to do this one.
Cranberry,
wondering if I
cranberry
could
ginger
shake
ale
these.
and apple pie.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
What is it?
Cranberry ginger ale and yep.
Yeah, you did make
feel
that
like
for me.
we need like a meter, like a thermometer, just a big one of like.
Like how strong it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the scale.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Oh,
All right.
all right.
I got it. It's all right.
That's good. Thank you.
It's like coating the bottom of the
I
cup.
know. Imagine what it's doing to your liver.
Right. It's coating the bottom of the liver.
Just sealing
Let me get
everything
them.
right up.
Thank you.
There you go.
There's a National Everything Day, isn't there?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Which
Sometimes
one,
I'm
what
convinced.
was this called?
This is cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream. Okay. All right.
It's so strong. Maybe I'm just like a weak person.
Oh man.
It's like, is this whiskey based?
Do you know how hard that is for me to get the chills from alcohol?
It's like
Putting the pro down here.
Jeez, look at that.
I know, yeah, no, literally.
Wow, that
It's strong.
you gotta finish it, Steph.
Oh gosh.
Jeez, wow. That was unpleasant.
Y'all will want to watch at noon for sure.
Wow. It's got like a gasoline aftertaste.
Yup.
I think is what it is. You're not even phased?
No.
He's gearing up. We have the Spencerport Firefighters Parade tonight. Mark
Oh,
is
yeah.
just getting
This will,
ready
like,
for
get-
that.
Somebody's the EMC.
Oh, it's a nice loosening up, measure.
Listen, if I'm feeling anything from this, we have 40 seconds.
Okay.
Then there's a
I'll go
bigger
apple
problem.
pie.
All
I'm
right.
surprised about this one.
The apple pie one?
Just the color.
That's gonna be gross, all mixed together.
all right.
Hold on, you got more than that.
What? One way or another, right?
Yep. All right. Cheers. The last one. Happy
Yep.
Moonshine Day.
Ah. I'm sorry. It's just like,
That one tastes fine once you get it down. That one's not too bad.
It's
mix
warming.
it with a cranberry ginger ale.
I think
Yeah,
that
that's what
would
you need.
be,
Yep.
yeah.
All right, we
Yum.
gotta go back. We gotta go. We'll be back after this. That one was so horrible. That cookies.
It was, oh.
wouldn't be Arc Rochester if we weren't drinking alcohol. So that was fun. Nice little way to wrap up a Friday Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do now for Friday?
I know, right? Well, tomorrow's National Donut Day.
Ooh.
So I know.
That could be dangerous.
It could. A lot of good options out there.
May need some donuts after tonight's parade.
Yeah, okay, so that's happening tonight.
Yeah.
Starts at 7.
Yeah.
And this is my first time going.
It's a big parade.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
it's going to be really fun.
We're trying to keep the rain away. Looks like that's going to be the case. So
yeah,
that'll be good. Yep.
That'll be really good. You should come by, Steph, so you can be nice and tired, just like me and Mark for tomorrow, and that'll be really fun. And that does it for us this morning on Arc Rochester. You can join a very tired Arc Rochester crew starting over at 13 Wham ABC at 4:57.
We'll also have much more live local news coming up with me and Selena at 13 Wham News. No,
we're not. We're just tired.
Have a great day.